I gave my students this GeoGebra called the virtual Ferris wheel. What they had to do was use the virtual Ferris wheel to fill in these tables of values. One for how high the little green car is above the ground at any time, and one for how far from the wall it is at any time. Each turn of the wheel takes 1 minute, and I specified the times that you see in the table, so that their graphs would represent one cycle, and a fairly detailed one at that, even though they had no idea while they were doing this that trigonometry or even angles were involved. So, for example, for the first table, the height above the ground, all they had to do was move the car around to the places on the wheel that correspond to the given times, and note the heights in the table. Now I got them warmed up by walking them through to the easy to find times. For example, 0 seconds of course is the beginning, where the height is 1, that's easy to find on the circle, and 30 seconds is easy to find as well, it's a half of a turn, where the height is 11. Even 45 seconds is pretty easy to spot. However, I then sent them off in groups to fill in the rest of the times so they could make their graph. Within a few minutes, each group was having a hard time finding exactly where the car would be at times like 5 and 10 seconds. At which point, I showed them this angle tool. And I said, well, would that help if you could find out exactly where, say, 30 degrees is, and move your car there, and then read the height off of that? That help? And they're like, oh yeah, that would help, yeah. Thanks, miss. I said, no problem. Once their height table was all filled in, it was time for them to do their graph by hand. And here is an example of one group's work, Chris and Cody. They filled in their table, they plotted their points on the graph, and then joined it to see what kind of a shape they would get. I wanted them to do it by hand, but I also wanted them to share their work with everyone else in the class. So I then had them upload, by scanning their graph or taking a picture or whatever device they had, to this Padlet wall so that they could all look at each other's results. I also made the background of the Padlet wall grass to reinforce visually the idea that this was height from the ground. I had them do the same thing with the distance graphs, and they were uploaded to this Padlet wall, the background of which is a wall, to reinforce again the idea that this is a graph of distance from the wall.